Hi there everyone, and today we're looking at War Zone Charadon, the Book of Rust, which is Act 1 of the Warhammer 40,000 series. And this is the new book. I've been meaning to review it, so I'm a little late in the game compared to other people, but we've got to start somewhere, haven't we? So let's take a look at the book and see what it is. This is the special £50 limited edition that I bought. So whether it's a questionable purchase, I think you can get this from friendly independent game stores for £30. So let's crack that seal open, shall we, of this book. Ta-da! This is the collector's edition here. Warhammer 40,000 Charadon Act 1 collector's edition, printed in China. And let's get the cellophane off, do the lovely unboxing or unwrapping. You see, I know it's a bit of a con, but I do love the soft touch cover that they have. Oh, that's got a bit of muck on the top though. That's a bit annoying. It's factory fresh, but it's factory dented there. How stupid. There's actually like a tiny little blemish there, can you see? Shocking, absolutely shocking. Right, without further ado, let's get into this. I do love the soft touch cover though. I am a sucker for a soft touch cover. So, War Zone Charadon, if it's called that. Charadon. And they say, we're going to look at the lore tonight. And they say, this system is damned near impregnable. It's one ring of steel within another, all the way to the orbital platforms of Metallica's Corona Industries. So very cool looking book, and we're going to be doing a close look at this now. So we're going to pop this open. This is the sort of like grim, darky bookness that they do, which is very cool. And yeah, this one's sort of like got a special gilt edge to it as well, in the grim, darky style. Okay, let's flip over to our first page, shall we, and read the intro. Read our intro. It says, the galaxy burns with every passing day. The conflagration I have set spreads further. Conflagration, what a word. I have set spreads further. Rage is higher. Fully half of the corpse emperor's realm lies beneath the pole. Choked, smothered, its world withers amidst the embers. Its armies curl and die like parchment cast to the flames. It is not enough. Still the corpse worshippers defy me. Still the dark gods whisper their false promises. Still there are those who believe me weak, a fool, biddable failure like my gene sire before me. Let them all pray. Their cries of derision will turn to screams as the flames consume them. There is work yet to be done. You will find the traveller and command him in my name. You and he will gather a force fit to darken the stars, and with it you will plunge Charadon's sector into anarchy. The galaxy burns. Now let us stoke the pyre, abandon the despoiler. War Zone Charadon, Act 1, Book of Rust. I need to listen to the Games Workshop feed to actually understand. So Abaddon's back. He's back again. Abaddon the harmless. Abaddon the useless. So our contents are the following. What do we get in this book? We get about half of it is lore. 96 pages for £50 or £30 if you're buying the normal book, which is a bit shocking really, but it could be a good book. I think it's got lots of really cool stuff in. So we've got the introduction, we've got Charadon, the Furnace Heat First Warnings. These are all the lore, campaign rules, which is the theatre of war, desperation and despair. Ooh. Army rules, special army rules, and then crusade rules, and I think Dracaria somewhere in here. So we've got some codex supplements to supplement our various codices of our various armies, produced by the Warhammer Studio. And then we've got our introduction here. Here's our introduction. Very lovely. And our introduction says, what does it say? It says, the Great Rift tore the Imperium in two. The region known as the Imperium Nihilus. You see, this is, we had Imperial Nihilus last time, the campaign books, so it's leading on as that. The region known as Imperium Nihilus was lost to shadow, its fate uncertain, its world beset by heretical conquerors and Xeno's raiders. If humanity was to endure, then the Empire's armies had to stabilize the Imperium Sanctus, and that region, still lit by the light of the Astronomicon, with all haste. Yet Warmaster Abaddon's plans were now in full flow, and with them his fury turned towards the Charadon sector. Ultimate rule of mankind's realm flows unquestionably from Terra and the Golden Throne. Yet so vast an empire necessitates compartmentalization. Oh my goodness, this is giving me, tongue twister. Compartmentalization. The Imperium is broken into the segmentum solar, obscurus, pacificus, tempus, and ultima. Each segmentum is further divided into many sectors, each name connected by major warp transit routes and connecting multiple subsectors. Even these subsectors in turn break down further as they contain multiple star systems, most of which contain numerous Imperial-held worlds, along with myriad perils, anomalies, piratical territories, and petty Xeno-empires. Deep within the Ultimum segmentum lies the Charadon sector, located spinwards of the ultramarine stellar empire of Ultramar. This sector is a gateway to the wider Imperium Sanctus and a stronghold of the power of the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Crucially, it is also located within striking distance of one of only a few stable channels through the raging warp storms of the Great Rift. The Charadon sector is known in its share of strife over the millennia. In the past few centuries alone, its Pelin and Agun. Oh my god, I can't say these words. Subsectors have been all but overrun by the vast orc empire of Charadon. I don't know if it is Charadon. I don't know. Charadon. Questioned tendrils of the Tyrannid High Fleet's Leviathan have pushed up through the galactic plane in almost every subsector of the region. Through all cases, the swarming alien horrors have been driven back into the outer darkness. Most recently, the Cyphos and the Palin subsectors have seen further Xeno invasion, this time by Eldritch legions of the Necrons. Sotak dynasty. The powerhouse of defense against these threats has been Forge World Metallica, whose Skitarii cohorts and Titan mantiples have marched out from the Abolis subsector to crush mankind's enemies time and again, and they have not fought alone. The famed Knights of House Raven, the courageous Space Marines of the Excruciators chapter, and the warships of Battlefleet Charadon, the Battle Sisters of the Cardinal World of Alexistor Regentum upon regiment upon regiment of Astra Militarum solid soldiery. All these have fought to render the sector an indomitable imperial fortress. Now, though the darkness of the Noctis Alterina recedes and the era Indomitus dawns in fire, so a vast host of chaos worshippers brings doom to the Charadon sector. The war of rust and slime is about to begin. Ooh. And this is produced by the Warhammer Studio. And then War Zone. And I need to look up what this actually calling this. Charadon or Charadon. Oh, I'd need to double check. But look at the minis. They look so cool. Oh, we've got like a water, like gunboats going over water. And then we've got like the old school, like not old school, like the proper Mechanicus, like proper cult Mechanicus there. And then we've got some plagues. And then we've got some robots. Is that plague bearers? Ooh, there's a lot of exciting things happening here. A lot of exciting things. It's very Adeptus Mechanicus-y. The power of Nurgle is not obvious, not direct, not at first. Our foes line their ramparts with soldiers. They put to the void in bristling warships. They level every gun at the darkling skies, and vow to repulse us in the corpse god's name. Yet they do not realize that Nurgle is already with them, creeping through their flesh, gnawing at their souls. By the time they feel his blackened teeth sink deep, it will be far too late. Typhus, bridge of the terminus, in the moment before warp translation to the Duralim system. There's lots of fancy words in this I'm very struggling with. The furnace heat, and we've got like this cool like furnace-y chapter there. Very cool. Very cool. So that's just the first few extracts. Flicking through, we've got some awesome maps. Absolutely awesome maps. I think it's printed in slightly better quality, these collector's ones, but I could be wrong. Very cool indeed. Very, very cool. And I had to actually just like rush for a second because I accidentally showed the code. Yeah, like I accidentally like showed the activation code to the book at the back there. So I had to like emergency go and like activate the code very quickly before someone else did. So it's been activated now, so we're fine. Deary me. Warhammer seems really good, cool. I might go to the shop tomorrow. Yeah, it is super cool. Like, it's very, very cool, Logan. Like, I quite like it. You know, it's easy to sort of like get into it, you know? They have like the Sisters of Battle and all sorts. So, looking quickly just at that, since we had to activate our code very quickly because I accidentally showed the code. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool. I'm not, as a note though, with these codexes and stuff, I'm going to open them in advance and activate the codes because I didn't realize how easy it was to actually reveal the code at the back. So what do we get? There's some very cool stuff. Some very, very nice pictures in it. Anyway, at least we've got very nice pictures. Look at the lovely pictures. Whoa, there's the Death Guard guys. We've got our Skitarii there. And then there's our Chaos Cults. And we've got Knights, some big Knights. And then we've just got like Plague Marine, sorry, Death Guard everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. There's just Death Guard. It's crawling in Death Guard. Absolutely crawling in Death Guard. It's very cool. And there's Drukhari, which used to be known as Dark Eldar. There they are. They do feature a little bit the Space Pirates. These are the Space Pirates. So what do we get? Cult of Strife. There we go. There's our cool Space Pirates. I do like Drukhari. And I sort of felt that this codex, like this supplement, was going to be like lost on me. But the fact that we've got a little bit of Drukhari in there makes me very happy that I got this book, because I'm tempted to start a Drukhari army. We've got battle trades, weapon enhancements, brilliant gifts. We've got some new stuff for the game. Like, it's just like a supplement to the game. So, you know, there's the knights. Look at the cool knights. I mean, I think they're just trying to sell knights at this point. They're just trying to sell everyone knights. That's Codex Supplement Metallica. There we go. There's our army rules. So it's not all the factions. What do we get? We get the missions, different missions. So at least we can play the different missions, you know. Like, I wonder if these are actually, you have to have like a certain army though to play. Secret Orders. Ooh. It's a cool book. It's definitely a cool book with lots of things for our campaign rules. You know, very cool. Campaign Master. Irradiated Wastelands. So that's the campaign. And then army rules. So what army rules do they give you? We've got so here we go. These are our army rules that we've got. So this book's only really going to apply to Mechanicus, House of Raven, Night Houses, Codex Supplement Metallica, Adeptus Mechanicus, Death Guard. We're going to get Free Blade Lances, which is our knights. And then we've got the Drukhari warriors. So those are our special rules that we're getting to use. Very, very cool. And the Festa Discipline. Lots of people were excited about the Festa Discipline. These are our space pirates here that look very cool. I'm very tempted to start a Drukhari army. Very, very tempted. Hey, Conradson. Hello, everyone. So yeah, we're looking at the War Zone Charadon, and it was mainly the lore that we're looking at today. But you know, this is the story so far. So we're on to the furnace heat, weren't we? So yeah, it's sort of like a read along that we're doing. We're just doing sort of like a little bit of a read along, a bit of fun. I mean, like obviously this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but instead of me just reading this on my own, like I thought I'd read it with everyone. So the furnace heart. Every sector of the imperial space is tremendously valuable, yet certain regions are pivotal, precious prizes that must be defended at all cost. I was going to listen to like how they actually called it, wasn't I? Charadon, right? Okay, at least I know how to damn call this thing the right name now. Are you loving the stream? Oh, thank you very much, Logan. Thank you very much. Right. So now I know what we're doing. Now I know what I'm talking about. Charadon. Let's just hear that one last time so we've got it right. Charadon. Yes. So the Charadon sector was such a realm. The material output of the Forge World Metallica alone was crucial to Imperial war efforts on a dozen galactic fronts, but Charadon had a value far in excess of just that. The Charadon sector had long served as both the breadbasket and the armory for the great swarms of the Ultima Segmentum, well provided with mineral-rich planets, shimmering gas giants, and sprawling belts of ore-bearing asteroids. The sector was rich, a source of raw materials, as the wider Imperium could ask, through the natural bounties of many similar hoardings had long been yoked to human endeavours, or else exhausted altogether. Charadon's sector also boasted a range of agri-worlds whose yield had fed its peoples with surplus to spare. Most crucial of all the bounties of the Charadon sector, though, was its material output. Forge World Metallica alone had typically churned out enough guns, tanks, combat aircraft, and ammunition to provision a dozen crusading armies and more every imperial calendar, yet when combined with the output of military hardware from client industrial worlds scattered through the majority of its subsectors, it is not hard to see why Charadon was often called the Iron Sector. At its heart lay the twin subsectors of Obolis and Lyriac. Obolis sub. The Obolis subsector was centered upon the Metallica's system and its governing forge world of Metallica, sitting at the nexus of three comparatively stable warp channels. The Metallica system consisted of an industrialized cluster of highly productive planets. Its armored asteroid fortress of Vigilum played host to the system's dedicated astropathic relay. Meanwhile, its deep void naval docks, known as Solar Anchorage, acted as a staging post for a division of Battle Fleet Charadon. The commander of this force, Lieutenant Halderus Luthier Charadane, described the Metallican defences thusly. The system is damn near impregnable. Oh, this is what's on the back of the book. This system is damn near impregnable. It's one ring of steel within another, all the way to the orbital platforms of Metallica's Corona Industries. They might be surely shower of closed-lipped pseudo-heretics, but these tech priests know how to fortify a place. Metallica's outermost ring of steel was formed by the three systems to which its warp channels were connected. These systems, Rhinodor, Brazantius, and Ferrior, were known collectively as the Metallican Gates. Each contributed to the wider region through the labour of its hive and prison worlds, the output of its industrial and mining worlds, and the more unusual exports of planets, in such as the water world of Fathom in the Ferrier system, or the shrine world of Humble Hope in the Relidor system. Most importantly, however, each of these systems boasted deep void monitoring stations and multiple spaceborne fortifications. Each was also governed from a ruling fortress world, Tremes in the Rhinodor system, Faxton in the Brazantius system, and Forfas in the Ferrior system. Not only were all three of these worlds massively fortified and heavily garrisoned, but each also boasted super heavy weapons of Metallican manufacture with the transospheric range to fire on invading ships to the very edge of each of their respective systems. The theory was simple and, as proven over countless centuries, tremendously effective. An invader could not assail Metallica without passing through one of its gate systems, which was savagely costly, a nigh impossible feat. We're just over there now. The remaining systems in the Orbitis subsector were each valuable in their own right. The Chromid system was Metallica's link to the Bellark's channel warp route, and thus the Charas subsector. It also played host to multiple agri-worlds and mining worlds, and had a reputation for its hardy frontiers people. The Grydras system also contained a second astropathic relay station on the moon of Cobalt, watched over by the turbulent world Matulum, home of the Executor's Space Marine chapter. The Drellum system was a teeming hub of population, faith, and commerce, ruled by the proud cardinal world of Alexior, whose Mandeville Point connected to the Frolov Straits and the neighbouring Lyriac subsector. Then there was the distant Alumax system, a comparative backwater, forever troubled by orc pirates, but still producing its fair share of shock-minded splinter orcs and proud labour guild workforces. Ooh, exciting times. Oops. And then we've got Forge World Metallica, which we're going to read in a second. We'll just check the chat. So how's everyone doing? Is everyone enjoying the lore so far? We're going deep into the lore now and looking at Forge World Metallica. Metallica is a world formed almost entirely of metal. No flora or fauna makes its home there, as all biological life has been exterminated. Ooh, not exterminated. I'll just zoom in a little bit. Here we go. Has been exterminated. Even the atmosphere is imitical to life, is not always this way, but the tech priest drove to extinction all other species so their quest to enlightenment could continue at peak efficiency. Metallica is a world of hissing pistons, glowing forges, and strata upon strata of industrial waste. Yet it is far from barren. The engine-driven monstrosities that growl out of its furnace complexes are born by the hundred with every new dawn. The sheer auditory barrage that rings from its gunmetal mountains is deafening, yet oddly inspiring. And all the weapons and machinery produced by Metallica can be identified by distinct blaring sound that is purposely made louder so that all foes might hear the industrial glory of the Omnisaur before they perish. The hyper-pollution of the planet and its proximity to the Orc Empire of Charadon have prepared its legions well for an age of war alongside knightly allies from the nearby world of Colossi. Metallica's armies have fought at the forefront of many battles, including the Second and Third Armageddon Wars. Indeed, it was in bloody conflicts upon that accursed world, that the Iron Skull's Titan Legion, formerly Legio Metallica, was all but annihilated. First Princeps Malgheim martyred himself and his Titan steel hammer during that costly conflict against overwhelming Orc forces. His successor, Wilston Van Kassel, has laboured in the fallen hero's shadow ever since to rebuild the strength of the shattered legion. This spare and cynical tactician has husbanded the strength of his titans with care through recent years, so that the Iron Skulls now stand at almost 2/3 of the numbers of a full Titan Legion. Ooh, the Titan Legions are coming. The Titan Legions are coming. Look at that, though. There's some like Adeptus Mechanicus walking about, just hanging out, like they do. Like the Mechanicus do. We know what they're like now. We know what these guys are like. The Mechanicus. We know what they're up to. They're robots. Deary me. So, yeah. Very, very cool indeed. Very, very cool indeed. Let me just quickly get a drink of water, because it is drying me out. I am getting dried out slightly. Apologies, everyone. I just need to wet my whistle. Okay, so back to the lore. We're not going to read all this because there's a lot of lore to get through. So the Lyriac sub. Let's go to the Lyriac sub. Ooh. Where the Obalis subsector was an ever-bustling hub of industry, thick with void traffic and glaring with the lights of countless cities and forges. The Lyriac subsector was wilder, somehow more primal. The noted warrior philosopher. Where is he here? Where was I there? Philosopher Sherivo had once described the region in colourful and somewhat ominous terms. It seemed to me a humble pilgrim roaming the space lanes of those stern and brooding systems, as though I walked neath the eye of some vast silent sentinel. Was it the eye of the Omnisar I felt upon me as I braved the hard shadows of Colossi and dared the creaking walkways of the Persian camps amidst the Joyzrian swamps, and fought through the stir-dusted blizzards and Muzzle's mining orbitals. Was it that his gaze I felt, or some other watchful thing whose regard pricked my skin and coaxed the hairs at nape of neck? At nape of neck? However much of Shiravo's account owed to the fanciful prose, it still captured the essence of the Lyriac subsector through its systems contained more than their fair share of refinable ores, gases, and other easily mined and valuable substances. Still, the Lyriac sub had resisted civilization and settlement. Some of its worlds were hard wildernesses whose towering mountains and bleak crags were riven by constant tectonic violence. Others were home to sinister and predatory xenospecies with more than a little of the supernatural about them. Humanity exploited and settled these systems, certainly, but only with the greatest struggle and often impermanently. The worlds of Cyclos system were prone to sudden and ferocious meteor storms, yet the origin point of these glassy black projectiles could never be determined. This has not prevented the imperial mining colonies and industrial centres from being established, but it did necessitate reinforced cave dwellings, while labour had to be provided via the maximum security prison planet of Strix. Equally, though, the Mabor system supported a clutch of inhabited and broadly productive imperial worlds. It had a dark reputation for supernatural phenomena and malevolent void spirits that drove away all but the hardiest of the most desperate settlers. The Elgar, Darga, and the Lap systems were somewhat more civilized, though. Still, their peoples faced perils enough that their faith was fiercely honed and their fortified settlements insular and untrusting. The Aldegar system was ruled by the sister cardinal world to Alexior, a cold and austere planet known as Vikaran, and also served as the gateway to Thuroth Strait, whose shipping came and went under the watchful orbital batteries of fortress world Yizarina. Beneath the glimmer of the Lap system's binary stars. Here we go. There we go. Beneath the Lap systems, there we go. Binary stars of the Hive Moon Justrian, huddled in close orbit to the mighty and entirely man-made fortress world of Hyclondis. The inhabitants of these planetary bodies were oblivious to a third settled world in their system. Catch on page. Third settled world in their system, a place of glass-like frozen ethane glaciers and violent chemical storms called Vod. Deep beneath the strange world's surface lay inquisitorial sanctum of the Ordo Xenos, heavily garrisoned and well equipped to wage a secret war against the myriad Xenos invaders that bedeviled the Charadon sector. For all the grim redoubts, the true power in the Lyriac subsector lay in the Tatharis system. It was here that the night's world of Colossi orbited its ancient and bloated furnace star Colossi. Was the home of the Night House Raven, one of the most powerful, famed, and numerous of all the Questor Mechanicus night houses. Only a handful of cities remained upon the surface of this ravaged world island of steel and smoke amidst the deep core shafts and the strip mine canyons. The greatest of these was the Keep Inviolate, a gargantuan mountain of fortified industrial magnificence whose highest levels pierce the smog-thick atmosphere of the world. Dug into the bedrock amidst the city fortress foundations lay the vault transcendent from which the House Ravens, hundreds of knight suits, marched out to fight wars all across the Imperium, Lances of these ironclad giants strode tireless patrol routes across the worlds of the Lyriac subsector and sailed between its systems aboard the blood-hauled macro barges. The marshal might hold him back. The dirtiest heretics or xeno threats. They stood always ready, also to march to the defence of Forge World Metallica, with whom their ruling princeps, Grieven Raven, maintained strong and binding oaths of featly. So yes, a very, very cool thing. And here's the map that we've got. We've got a very cool map, very nice map of the sector here. So we can see where everything is located. The Charadon sector, the sprawling Charadon sector is perpetually dragged by all the tides of the invasion and reconquest. So it has been for most every sector of the imperial space for thousands of years, of course, but the recent fortitudes of this particular region have been especially turbulent, from encroaching Xenos empires to bloody imperial crusades and heretical invasions. Not one of its subsectors, nor even systems, has wholly escaped the touch of war. So we'll just zoom in on these like different sectors here. The Cinder Strait, the Paladin subsector. Okay, it's come back after it dropped out. So this is the map. I got my drink a second ago. Homemade Skittles Crush'ems. Whoa, now that's a drink. So this is the system. Very cool. Orbitalis subsector. There's a cool looking skull in the corner. Metallica systems. Very cool. Shower subsector. Grey Passage. Warp route, that's the centre bit. And then we have like other planets here that aren't named. I guess like you can call them what you want. Oh, there's like Inquisition here. There's like some Inquisition stuff going on. The long dark warp route. It does have a name written on it, but I can't quite read it. I think it's just like illegible text. Very cool, very Mechanica-y. So we're going to see orcs. We're going to see chaos. We're going to see Abaddon back, I think. And one thing though that I have seen with this book is that it's not very big, and the other books that we did, which is the Vigus or Vigilus, they were like big books. And I think what they're doing now is they're probably splitting them into like many books. So we've got Act 1, the Book of Rust, but I think there's going to be many books actually made. Whereas the last time we only had 2 books to collect, but I think there's going to be many books to collect this time. I think they're making quite a few of them. There's cool rules in it. This has got the special like little binding in it. It's nice to have a special book, but I do feel that it's overpriced, and I'm very annoyed about this like weird goop. Oh, it's glue. Thankfully, it's glue. Right, it was just, it looks like it was just glue. There's still a mark on it though there. I don't think I can get off. Oh no, it is, it's just glue. Huh. Dodgy glue in the corner that just needed rubbing off. Oh right, well that's good. Because I thought I had a duff book then. That's good. I'm just bothered with these soft touch covers that they're really easy to scratch. Like, they won't last very long gaming, I don't think. Because everything seems to, like, attach to them. You know, I'm bothered that even the desk is going to scratch this thing. I love soft touch covers, but they are really not designed to last. So, guys, that was the stream that we've done so far. Very, very cool. Very, very doody. I really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed making this stream. So yeah, we were just focusing on what was happening in the Warhammer 40k verse. We looked at the lore and saw what was going on. There, lots going on. Very exciting times. Very exciting times indeed. And yeah, lots to see. Lots to see in the future. And I can't wait to see what's next. I like the cogs around the map. I know they are very cool. Very, very cool. I do quite like this. It's very cool indeed. Very, very doody. I can't believe that I showed the code though accidentally at the back of the book, because you get a code at the back of the book to activate in the app and it's just like there. And so I had to like rush to the app and quickly activate the code on my account in case someone saw it and they'd be like, okay, I'll have a free unlock on my app, thank you very much. You know, so I had to quickly activate that to make sure I had it. I do like the Drakari. I was thinking about getting Drakari, which are Dark Eldar, and it's very good. So we get special relics that I will have to read through, and I'll do like a special sort of review. I'm going to do like a special review of like the actual rules as well, the actual game rules. But at the moment, I thought we'd look through the lore, because that's probably like my favourite part, and the reason why I spent £50 on the book, because I wanted to actually, you know, collect the story behind Warhammer 40,000 and the campaigns, and I think it's quite good that. I think it's very good. And I do love the cover that it comes with. It comes with a very lovely cover, this special, you know, limited edition soft touch cover, which I absolutely love. And yeah, really good fun. Really good fun. Can't wait to see where it takes us, you know. Can't wait to see where it takes us indeed, you know. Lots of things. Oops, that's zoomed in. Oh, now it's zoomed out. Ta-da. Apply. Ta-da. Ta-da. So yes, very, very cool. Very, very doody indeed. And yeah, I'm just going to do an hour for now with this stream. I'd love to do more, but like I was getting like a bit tired from reading everything. So I think like we'll call it a day just for that one. And then like what I've got to do is I've just got to rename it. Law Heart 1. Okay, I've just renamed it. Paul Lindrell made it in. Hey everyone. Everyone just made it in. Well, I'm going any second, but it's glad to have everyone here. And yeah, I've just renamed it slightly. Renamed it Act 1, The Book of Rust. Law, Part 1. With Alex Faxton's Hobby Hangout. And it was very cool. Very, very cool. Really enjoyed reading through it, reading the story. It's a bit wordy, and they've got some like overly big words, I think, that they've used in it that I was just struggling to get my head around. But apart from that, because they like to use very loud and gothic-y sounding words, you know. I mean, I know this stream didn't get as many viewers, but it's sort of like just to, you know, for my enjoyment mainly. It's just so I can enjoy it, you know. So I will look at some of the rules though, because some of the rules are very cool rules indeed. Very cool rules indeed. And the limited edition book has actually sold out now, so I'm glad I managed to get it. I want to actually pick up as well the Realm of Battle Sector Imperialis, because they're not going to do it any longer. Last chance to buy. Like, they are getting rid of that, which is the big plastic War Zone thing that they have. That was very cool. Don't know why they're getting rid of that, but I think it's because it's 6 foot by 4 foot. And we have like New Age of Sigmar coming, you know what I mean? It's crazy. I don't know how we're going to keep up with everything. It was a shame that I missed out on the Sisters of Battle book as well. They had a special Sisters of Battle book, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to get up tomorrow and get the pre-orders and see what we have. I mean, there's some like really cool Age of Sigmar stuff as well. So, but obviously this is a Warhammer 40k stream, so we'll keep the Age of Sigmar stuff just out of it, just for the moment, you know. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed reading the actual story with you. Do you think model railways and tabletop wargaming are similar? Yes, I think they are, because you get like the miniatures and you paint them how you want them to look. You get it, so there's a collecting part. The collecting part's very similar. You build terrain that you sort of play out on, but with tabletop wargaming, it's sort of, there's more of a social element to it, which I quite like. Whereas a model railway, it's just your railway and that's it. Whereas if you're playing games, like, you have to interact with people and it's a lot more social. So I think that's what attracts me to sort of like the wargaming thing. I'm not necessarily like overly keen on the whole war thing. I think I prefer model trains. Model trains was my first love, almost certainly. My first love was model trains. And then it's sort of like, you know, I like Warhammer as well. Like, I went to the Warhammer shop as a kid and got into it. So, I mean, I hope you go to the shop tomorrow, Logan, and see what you think of it. There are like some like little starter sets you can get and things, and like little painting kits. The only thing is, like with Warhammer, is that it is quite expensive to get into. But both use static grass on the ground. Yes, they do. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that I quite like about wargaming is that you can create a different table, and it's all portable and all customizable. So
you can set up like a layout in inverted commas, like your battle board, on a dining room table, have a 3-hour game, and then pack it all away. And it changes. See, if you do have a proper gaming layout, you can build like a big moon base and then play on it, and then build a grass field and play on that. And you just swap out the top. So that's what I do quite like about that. It's quite customizable and changes quite a lot. Whereas the only thing with like model railways is that you hear like a lot of people, they'll spend like years building a model railway, and then they'll either move house and they have to rip it all up, or they'll move house and they'll rip it all up, or whereas Warhammer 40k, it's okay. If you have a group of people running a switching layout, it's the same thing. Well, in England, we don't really have that. We don't have there's not really groups of people for switching layouts and things like that. So that's like the problem really, because of space, there's one or two, but they're very, very rare. There's very few. I know like Pete Waterman, the famous record producer, he's got one, and like he has a group of people who come around and like work on it and model on it. But it hasn't got like that hobby edge. They do have really good paints, Logan. Also, Logan, something that you want to look out for is how to build a wet palette, which is you get like baking paper, but it's like a special type of baking paper. I'll have to do a video with making my wet palette, but they have like baking paper, and you put it on, and so if you Google how to make a wet palette, that's really good, because you can take a little bit of paint, put it onto your wet palette, and then it stays wet for hours at a time, which is really good for painting. I use a wet palette. And like before I had a wet palette, I didn't know how I managed to paint. I really didn't know how I managed to paint. But once I got a wet palette, it was so much easier. And you can leave the paints overnight and then just come back to it the next day. They don't keep for like weeks, but they do keep for a good few days. And I think some, they do keep for a good few days. The only thing is like, I think the metallics do separate out quite a bit, but you certainly get hours worth of paint on there, which is great. Instead of about 30 to 60 seconds, it lasts like just on a standard plastic tray or something like that. So, hopefully you enjoyed War Zone Charadon. So yeah, hopefully that's good, and look forward to making the next video on I look forward to making the next video on this book. That's what I'm going to do. That is going to be the next stream. Oh wow, sounds good. It is good, yeah. Sounds fun. I can't wait to do the next stream. But sadly, I'm a little bit tired tonight, so I'm not going to manage to do this. You know what I mean? I'm not going to manage to do reading too much tonight, because I've read to page, where are we? It's got a bookmark. Thank goodness for that. I was wondering if this book had a bookmark. Yes. Right. Let's get the bookmark out. I like how we put the bookmark where the campaign rules are. Right. We've done introduction. We've done the map. So we're now on page 10. First warnings. Oh, that's good, because I've sort of had a little warm up to it. So we're now on page 10. How many pages of lore is there? I mean, a lot of maps and things like that. So, you know, there's a lot of maps. Oh, talking about Typhus. There's a lot of lore. There's the campaign rules. 45. So page 45. We've got, oh, there's some lovely pictures of Death Guard and stuff though, as well. You know, if we have a quick
smoochy, there's some lovely pictures of Death Guard there. So yeah, there's 45 pages and we're on page 10 already. So,
you know, not like crazy amount to read through. You know, there's not a crazy amount to read through. You know, there's a lot of pictures in it as well, but quite a lot of text. So, what are they showing us on here? They're showing us Death Guard, House Raves in Metallica, Chaos Other, Thousand Suns, Gene Stealer Cults, Imperium Other, Orc Pirates, Drakari, and Demios, whoever Demios is. So, yeah, there's going to be quite a lot of people jumping in on the party, I think. You know, there's going to be loads of new rules. I think what they're doing with this is like, it's kind of like Psychic Awakening. It's like Psychic Awakening books, but we're getting them as this, but it's, you know, you'd love to start doing both, says Logan. It is cool, like, I find it's handy having, like, they're both very similar hobbies, as in they're, like, creating and painting and modelling. But it is nice to sort of, like, break it up sometimes, you know, because I feel that model railways are really big and permanent, whereas what I like about Warhammer 40k in particular with wargaming is that it can be quite small and compact, and you can just have like some small miniatures. And like I say, it's the social side sort of thing. You know, you can meet some really interesting people with it and stuff. I mean, obviously with COVID and that, there's no games on in the shops at the moment, but we can only hope that in the future that we get, you know, it's going to like pick up, and you know, it is the community thing. And like I say, I've been into this game since a kid, and I'm sort of revisiting it. I am quite enjoying it. They're doing a really good job now with the new releases and everything, and the new models. Really nice, and really quite impressed with it all. Yes, yes, yes. So, with that said, thank you very so much for tuning into the stream. Thank you very so much, everyone, for tuning into the stream, and I'll see you in the next one. I've got laser hair removal tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to stream for a couple of days, live stream, but I do have a lot of videos that I need to edit and get through, so I will be doing that. And yes, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much, and bye. See you in the next one.